Mom! Here is the thing. Well, one thing that I should probably say is that pollution is a terrible problem, and today we're gonna go to the bottom of it. Alright, heads up. What is pollution, you may ask? Oh, hey, hang on. What the heck is pollution, you may ask? Well, here's the thing. Pollution is one of the, like, you might think that throwing trash down the sink, or liquid trash, like water and all the other stuff, throwing it down onto the drain is actually not gonna do any bad effects to you. It's just a drain. They'll just filter it out and everything, right? Well, that's exactly what pollution is. People think it like that, and they eventually realize that they made one of the biggest mistakes ever. In fact, the Great Pacific Garbage Patch. Well, here's the thing. The Great Pacific Garbage Patch is a big patch of garbage that is in the middle of the... Wait, this is white. That is in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. In fact, let's say that this whole blue thing, is the Pacific Ocean. And then, this white thing is the Great Pacific Garbage Patch. In fact, this is how much it would probably be. But it wouldn't be spread out thinned out like that. It'll probably go out like this and that, in ways that of ocean currents will turn them around and keep them spooling around as if it was a big, gigantic piece of soup that has lots of trash in it being turned around by the spoon of fate more and more ever, so that eventually it looks like nothing ever happened at all. Well, the thing is, first of all, my face is covered. Second of all, let's just say that this is the ocean again. And if that is the ocean, then lots of other things could probably happen to us. As I already said, that this is how much garbage there is in the Pacific Ocean. There much. Well, that's the only visible part. The invisible parts are clustered together across the sea itself. In fact, the invisible part will probably be all over here. And here, and here, and here, and here. There's literally no part of the Pacific Ocean that is untainted by it. In fact, because it's been going on for decades by now, no one literally has enough idea of how much plastic we put in there, because lots of that plastic eroded and is now going into our bodies. In fact, the fish I probably ate earlier had some of the plastic in it. I bet you $5 million that it is. It had those types of microplastics. That's what they call them. However, unfortunately, I ate them, so I have no idea. I have no idea if that is true. I'm just clearing myself out. There we go. Oh, the thing is, lots of other people, there are lots of other causes to pollution too. One of them is the nuclear power plants. And because of these nuclear power plants, lots of people are kind of getting worried about what's going to happen. In fact, recently, if you remember in 2011, also if you were living during 2011 and old enough to actually remember 2011, I was born in that year, so I have no recollection of what happened during that time. But in 2011, the Fukushima power plant in Japan something happened in there, and then it happened to be that all that radioactive stuff got diluted by water to be cooled down. And after 12 years of doing that and processing all the radioactive parts from the water out, except for this little material called tritium. This is what tritium's atomic structure should be. It's basically hydrogen, except you added a neutron. And basically, tritium reacts the same way with water. So basically, tritium water would end up looking like this. And since the only difference is that they added 2 new neutrons, because there are 2 hydrogen atoms extra and 1 neutron to each of the hydrogen atoms, there's literally almost no difference between tritium water and regular water. Other than the fact that tritium water is slightly radioactive, there's no difference between it and water. So the Japanese government are saying that all that Fukushima water that they've actually contained for 12 years has to go somewhere because, I mean, there's literally no room on there anymore to actually store more water. And so they said, we're just going to throw it in, they're just going to dump it into the Pacific Ocean. The IAEA, a UN organization, already gave the green light. And lots of other experts, if they were allowed to give their green light, would have said their green light. But lots of other people are thinking that because of this radioactive water, or water that was used to dilute the radiation and cool down the power plant, if going into the Pacific Ocean would poison their foods and everything, so that whatever living organisms, whether it's future seafood that will be in the Pacific Ocean that is contact with this, well, water that is dumped into the Pacific Ocean, no one will buy their fish anymore. And lots of people are already protested against it. But unluckily, for them, the water is already being dumped slowly into the Pacific Ocean. According to the IAEA, they are monitoring it slowly, but for some reason they're not letting samples out of Japan. So that was, yeah. And one other thing about power plants. You might remember the Chernobyl accident in, well, Russia. And because of the Chernobyl accident, we know a lot of things about the Chernobyl accident, except one part. Turns out this part's been kept secret from anyone for years now. What the Russian government didn't tell us about Chernobyl was that they were dumping all that water into a river, and the local residents were ignoring the warnings because it's been so secret for so long that they are actually not buying it. In the USA, the land of freedom, so-called land of freedom, lots of people, the US people actually threw out 250 million tons of trash, in 1 year. Particularly that year is 2010. In fact, most of it is municipal and industrial waste. There's a difference between municipal and industrial waste, because municipal waste is waste that you guys throw out, while industrial waste is waste that the industries just throw out. So basically the difference is this. Municipal waste, you guys throw out. Industrial waste, stuff that you do not use in municipal pots. And in the industry, that you throw away. At least the industry does. However, it turns out there's a new totally mind-blowing power source from this. Garbage can be used into a power source. I don't really know the exact process of it, but all I'm thinking, on the lines of this, you get garbage into this incinerator, and instead of using the incinerator, you use it to create power, as you would use for excretions to create power sources. Also, it may sound a little disgusting. And then, in Mexico, lots of things are literally happening right now. Well, particularly Mexico City. Well, every day, exhaust fumes from, about 4 million vehicles, whether they're cars or trucks or whatever, are, creating lots of fumes into the air. In fact, here's the thing. Here's a recipe for a smog. And here's a recipe for a super smog. And here's the recipe for making a disaster smog. Or should I say doomsday? Ba-bum. Okay, I may have actually gone a bit killer there. It's not actually doomsday, alright? No need to panic. I said don't panic. It's not red alert. Duck, 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 duck. Beep. Alright, now with the last part on our list, we have to talk about Canada. Then I'll tell you about what you can do. In Canada, there's a place called Alberta, and it has lots of sand. And what? You want to go to a beach? Well, no, the sand is very useful because it has lots of oil in it. Now, used to, we just pumped it out of the ground. Now, all you have to do is just go to a beach, or more likely a special place that has special sand, grab a block or a hunk of it, and then after doing lots of purification, you'll end up with the biosource of oil that you need. And that destroys the environment, which is the reason why this is part of this pollution too. And now, what can you do to actually solve this problem? Well, the thing is, lots of things turns out. You can spread your awareness. You can spread the awareness to lots of other people, like this YouTube video did with you guys. You can recite. You can do the 3 R's, which you might have learned in at least preschool, in at least like elementary school. Reduce, reuse, and recycle. You can just reduce your energy and consumption. You can reuse stuff that you think is trash, and you can recycle stuff that you think is trash. And if by recycling stuff, you will be able to turn something old into something that you can use as a brand new product. And reusing something means use something that's very old. You can use it again and again and again, at least until it breaks and is unreusable again. In fact, one person spread awareness in a very adventurous way. A guy used plastic bottles to make his boat called the Plastica. There's a photo of it right there. This is just a bottle of it. So, and because of those 12,000 and something plastic bottles, it floats around, and he can goes ahead and timed up with a National Geographic guy and document the whole thing on Plastica. It's called it's a documentary called Plastica too. You can tell people about it and lots of other things too. In fact, one of the greatest ways you can probably share awareness about pollution is share videos, share stuff about it, like this one. So please share it to your friends and families and other people or random strangers who you somehow figured out their email password by randomness. That's all I have to say for now, and until next time, Shannon out. Peace. Ba 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 ba.